Good morning. My name is Mary Beth Morgan.
I'm Jimmy Moore.
And we are so fortunate to be pastors at St. Mark's United Methodist Church, and we are especially excited that we get to be with you on Monday. We're with you a lot on Sundays, but we are so glad to be here on Monday, and especially because today is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service, and it is one of the days that we look forward to in this community every year. And if you are joining us from here in Bloomington or somewhere else, there are ways that all of us can be a part of this day. And normally, on years when we don't need to be socially distanced, we have a lot of people who are in the building, and so we've needed to be creative this year about doing things a little bit different this year. And so what are some of the things that we are doing this year? Can you talk about just one of the projects that we are doing so people know and what they can be doing?
Well, one project is we're actually, and this is for children and those who are young at heart, that we're going to be having a reading project. And so in just a moment, after we've done a brief orientation of the day, our Director of Youth Ministries, Roddy Long, is going to read a poem for us, share a poem with us, and then right after that, Mary Beth has a great book she talked about in Children's Moment yesterday that she's going to read by Desmond Tutu. And then at every hour from at 10 and 11 and 12, we'll have friends from the Schmidt-Stevenson family, and they're going to be reading some really important books that express the values that Dr. King shared, that are of social value and worth and justice and friendship. And I think you're really going to like that. So we'll be here for, I guess, probably 15 minutes doing this part, and then at every top of the hour there's about a 10-minute reading, and so we invite you to have people gather around. Of course, they'll go to the recordings and you can watch them also at your convenience. But this is one of the ways we want to learn and grow today.
And one of the things that we are doing today is finding ways that we can do good in the world. And that was what Dr. King was wanting us to do, that we would be kind with each other and that we would do good things in the world. And so that is part of what we are focusing on today. If you are part of the St. Mark's community, you have likely received an email that says all of this information that we're going to be sharing. But we also want to invite you, if you don't have that information or if you have questions, you can contact the church office today, or you can email
us.
Yeah, email Jimmy or me, and all that information is on our website, which is SMUMC, like St. Mark's United Methodist Church. And you'll be able to find our emails, and we'll help you with all the information you need. But we thought we would give you just a little example of some of the things that can happen today, also knowing that you may have your own projects that you are doing, and we would love to hear about those as well. And so Jimmy mentioned that one of the things we're doing is we're just reminding ourselves with our stories and our sharings today about the importance of this day, and so that'll be happening every hour. Another thing that we have done on most Martin Luther King Jr. days is that we have people make cards. And these cards can be for a lot of different purposes. And I know these are pretty far away. But some of these are cards for Valentine's Day that is coming up, or just that we're thinking of somebody, or maybe somebody isn't feeling well and they need some cheering up, and a get well card or something like that is something that can cheer us up. And so we invite anyone, no matter how old you are or how young you are, if you can take some time to make a card for someone. And if you're not sure who would be a good person to send it to, if you can bring or send the cards here to St. Mark's, we will make sure that they get to people who would really appreciate them. And especially for Valentine's Day, we usually try to send out, probably more than 50 cards to people who might not have a lot of other people around them, and especially now. If you don't have materials to make a card and you live around Bloomington, let us know, and Elena Gray and some others will help. We can deliver the paper for it, and she even says she has markers and stickers and all sorts of stuff, so just let us know. But be creative, and if you bring them here, we'll make sure that everything is addressed and stamped and gets in the mail and makes somebody's day, so everybody can be a part of the card making project. Another thing that we are doing today is that we are helping collect things for for those of us who know what this means, our nonprofit partners. So other groups in town that are trying to help people with some of the things that they need. And so we brought some examples of those, but what we're going to invite you to do today is if you have any of these items that you can share, we're going to be here from now until 3 o'clock this afternoon. And if you go to the sanctuary entrance of
Covered Drive,
by the church, there are a bunch of bins outside. So this is a very safe way, and it has on them labels about for which of our nonprofit partners these will go to. And then we have some folks who are going to do some sorting of those. And then if there are some folks who live locally and would like to help deliver after we gather things, that would be something we'd appreciate as well. Again, just let us know. So Jimmy, we have a box here, and I want to say something first about the box.
Okay, sure. Okay,
because one of the places that we are sharing some items with that all of you will bring, it's called Pantry 279, which is really interesting. And this was actually started by a Girl Scout troop.
That's right.
And now they are really helping thousands of people at this point with food and other items that they need. But because when you are picking things up, you need to carry them in something, they're also collecting boxes. And so you'll notice on the list that there are also sizes of boxes that they need. So can you pull out something from the box?
Sure.
Okay.
How about this?
There you go. And so that's just a food item. And that may not be a particular food item for every place, but if you look on the list that we are collecting for Pantry 279 that has some particular food items. And one of the things that they note is particularly things that can have a twist off or have a pull off for people who might not have a can opener.
That's right.
But we also had some people who said, well, we'll bring some can openers because that's helpful too. And so I know that there's a can opener in the bag.
There you go.
And also right now, we're being really careful, and I didn't put something in the box about cleaning supplies. So if there are wipes and things like that, so many places need those. And so also in terms of food and things like that, Monroe County United Ministries, we have a list of those. And some of what they're also wanting are fresh fruits like carrots and potatoes and peas and things like that, and also things like laundry soap. And so many places also, like if people have young ones in their families, so babies, so like baby items, diapers and things like that. And also things that help keep us healthy and clean, so soap and shampoos and other items like that. And you'll see all of those things on the list. And so I think there's some toothpaste in there.
There is.
Because we all need things like that. And then we have, and I don't think we have anything in the box for this, but we are also connected with United Methodist Mountain Mission. And this is in Kentucky, and they have particular needs around some winter and summer clothing for all ages, and also pots and pans and other things as well that they have on the list. And there are also some things that people could use, and I think we have in the box. So we had some more toothbrushes and toothpaste. But there's also something that's really interesting. Can you just pick up that?
Yellow bag?
Yeah, so what is that?
It's a bag.
It's a bag, and why do we have a plastic bag in that box?
Well, we have someone in our church who, with other friends, has started a local nonprofit, and they're basically collecting these to help as part of their drive. This is what they're collecting.
They're right.
They're collecting bags.
And some of you know Josie Sparks, and she and others from her high school. They have started something called Yellowwood Youth, and I think it goes beyond that.
Yeah.
And they have actually found a way, because one of the things about plastic bags is they're not always as easy to recycle, and we're trying to take really good care of the environment. And these are already made, so they're like, so what else could they be made into? And they are learning about ways that they can be made into mats. So if people need something like on the ground that would keep water and bugs and things out of it. And so they're going to take all these plastic bags, and there's just a bin outside of the church here where you can bring these plastic bags if you don't know what to do and bring them here, and they're going to reuse them for something that is very good. So is there anything else that I'm missing?
Well, I think a couple of things, Mary Beth. One of the things is, what if someone can't get here today? What should we be the advice for folks?
If you can't get here today, just let us know, and we will find a way to just meet you here. We are here on Mondays through Fridays normally from 9 to 1. There's somebody here. Today we're going to be here longer until 3, and sometimes we're here longer anyway, so you can make arrangements with the church office, or there are people who are willing to do a no-contact pickup from your house. And so if you need that, we'll just make arrangements, and we'll make sure that they go to the right places.
And I think, too, that if there's someone there who wants to volunteer to help get these items to a nonprofit, they could let us know and just volunteer, and we'll have to find out when they're ready to receive them, but that would be a great help and a great gift to give.
That's right. And so, as Jimmy started today, one of the things that we are doing is also to make sure we're remembering Dr. King, because he helped us to think about how we can connect with each other in the world and make the world a better place. And we do that in the things that we do, and we also do that by doing some reading and sharing of stories and sharings of poems and songs and things that connect us to what Jesus has taught us to do and how we're still trying to learn to do that. And so Rodney Long, who's our Director of Youth Ministries, is going to share something. And one of the things is our youth continue to do really wonderful and creative things that are good in the world. And if there are youth out there, I'll let you know that we have a youth call at 5 o'clock today. And if you want a connection to that Zoom call, contact me or Rodney, because we'd love to have more do that.
Very good.
So we're looking forward to hear from Rodney.
Greetings to everyone, especially the youth who are able to watch this morning. Growing up, MLK Day was never just a day to sleep in and relax. It was a day I looked forward to celebrating. Each year, we had a community march, musical concert, and commemoration event with music and dance, much like the one in the city of Bloomington. For the past several years, I have been a part of the MLK concert at the Jacob School of Music. I had the pleasure of hearing this poem titled Remembering a Life by Nordette Adams that resonated with me so deeply. The language allows my imagination to go back to a time when Dr. King was alive, imagining what it was like for my people. While I use Adams' words this morning and today to remind me of that time, I sense a connection to current times. Riots, racial inequality, police brutality, political turmoil. I remember that while we have come so far, we have much work to do and so far to go. Here are the words of Nordette Adams in her poem, Remembering a Life. I remember him in the misted vision of toddler years, and again in girlhood. The booming voice on TV, someone grown-ups talked about, eyelids flapped wide. Elders huddled around the screen enraptured, in fear for him, in awe. I remember him. His words swept the land, singing our passion. Dogs growled in the street, men in sheets. Police battering my people, water, a weapon. Yet my people would rejoice and mourn. I remember him, a fearsome warrior crying peace, a man blemished by clay, the stain of sin as any other, calling on the rock, death's sickle on his coat tails, yet he spied glory. Shall we walk again and remember him? Not as the Madison Aveners do, but in solitude and hope, with acts of courage and compassion, with lives of greater scope, carving fresh paths of righteousness? I remember.
So another thing that the youth are going to be doing, and everyone can be a part of, is one of the things they'll be talking about on the call today, and anyone can be a part of this, is they are going to sponsor a variety show on Zoom. where anybody can share a talent or something that they are able to do, and then they're going to have donations for Loaves and Fishes, which is a fund which helps make a difference and helps individuals and families and anybody in the world.
Right.
And so that might be another thing you do on Martin Luther King Jr. Day today, is think about what you might be able to share for that variety show. So lots of creative ways. Because we are all today remembering in some ways when Dr. King talked about his dream about how the world could be a better place.
Right.
And there's a book that I'm going to share today that was written by Archbishop Desmond Tutu and Douglas Carlton Adams, and the illustrations, which are great, which are the pictures, were done by Lei Win Pham. And this is a wonderful book that talks about our dreams, but also makes us think about what are God's dreams for us and for our world. And so this book is called God's Dream. Dear child of God, what do you dream about in your loveliest of dreams? Do you dream about flying high or rainbows reaching across the sky? Do you dream about being free to do what your heart desires, or about being treated like a full person, no matter how young you might be? Do you know what God dreams about? If you close your eyes and look within your heart, I am sure, dear child, that you will find out. God dreams about people sharing. God dreams about people caring. God's dreams that we reach out and hold one another's hands and play one another's games and laugh with one another's hearts. But God does not force us to be friends or to love one another. Dear child of God, it does happen that we get angry and hurt one another. Soon we start to feel sad and so very alone. Sometimes we cry and God cries with us. But when we say we're sorry and forgive one another, we wipe away our tears and God's tears too. Each of us carries a piece of God's heart within us. And when we love one another, the pieces of God's heart are made whole. God dreams that every one of us will see that we are all brothers and sisters, yes, even you and me, even if we have different mommies and daddies and families or live in different far-away lands. Even if we speak different languages or have different ways of talking to God, or even if we have different eyes or different skin. Even if you are taller and I am smaller, even if your nose is little and mine is large. Dear child of God, do you know how to make God's dream come true? It is really quite easy. As easy as sharing, loving, caring, as easy as holding, playing, laughing, as easy as knowing we are family because we are all God's children. Will you help God's dream come true? Let me tell you a secret. God smiles like a rainbow when you do. And we are glad that you have been with us to start this day, because every day you help us see ways that we can help God's dream come true. And so we are going to be doing that throughout this day.
So join us again at 10 o'clock for another reading. We'll look forward to seeing you then.
And we look forward to all the things that we will share together on this day.